Hey everybody, it's your man 83, the Successful Convicts. You know what today is? Today is Friday. Friday. Also, today is 4 o'clock count. 4 o'clock count, everybody. I'm unprepared, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Here we go. Hey, so today is official 4 o'clock count. Bonte 3 for Successful Convicts. I think it's showing backwards. But Bonte 3 for Successful Convicts. And I am starting 4 o'clock count in remembrance of our brethren and sisters in the prison system. Now, like I said before, I don't know what they do in the state. Never been in the state prison, any state prison. I don't know what they do in other countries. Never been in prison in other countries. But in the United States, at 4 o'clock is what you call 4 o'clock stand-up count. Now, they do have stand-up counts for other situations like a potential escape, fight breakout. They want to check everybody's hands. But every day at 4 o'clock is 4 o'clock count. Now, not to say that they're going to be in front of your room every day at 4 o'clock, but at 4 o'clock, they come in front of your room and you have to sit there. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. You have to show your ID. Here's my ID. And you have to say your inmate number. So they come to the room. If you're in a two-man room, two-man cell, if you're in the dorm, if you're in the cubicle, whatever, they come in front and they say, name. And then everybody got to say their name. But, people are people, guards are guards too. They lazy. So, when you get the rattling off, a lot of times they say, next, all right, because they trying to because you got to count everybody in the whole prison. So, some prison got 1,000 people, some prisons got thousands of people, you know what I mean? But they got to count each and every last one of them. And then they got to go through and count the individuals in the room. Everybody got to be standing up unless you got a medical condition or like if you're in a wheelchair or, bedridden or whatever. But they count each individual. They usually do two. I've seen sometimes they do more than two, but they do. It's got to be more than one. Not taking that call right now. It's got to be more than one person. They do the count. They collab on the numbers. So, they come in your section. They'll be like 25. And he'll be like, oh, I got 24. And they got to come back, do the count again. And mind you, this is all while you have to sit there and wait for the guards to go through each dorm, each unit, each cell block, or whatever you call it. And they have to do this 4 o'clock count. So that's why I figured it'd be significant if I do it at 4 o'clock. So far, I can do it because of my work schedule. Hopefully my work schedule don't impede on this because this is kind of like real important to me. And I also want to, let you know what's going on with the channel, the direction I'm taking it into. Again, 4 o'clock count. That was another thing too. People always say 08, but it's really 0168-041 or -041. So in the federal system, the last three numbers tell you where, not necessarily where you're from, but where you caught your case at. So I caught my case in Minnesota. That's why I got the 041, or as we say, 041. The 041 number, people see that number, because when you're in the prison system, you get your shirt and you gotta have your name and your number on your shirt and go to laundry, and that's how they know who you are. So you come through, especially when you're on the new. On the new means when you first come to prison, right? So when you come in the prison system, you get off that bus, you got the Bruce Lee shoes. For those of you that don't know, it's the little bitty, like they like some little rubber shoes. They almost look like some karate shoes. That's what we call them, karate shoes. But You got those on because you ain't got no, you ain't got your clothes. Your either your clothes haven't arrived if you coming from another prison, or you just got there and you ain't been to laundry to get your uniform and all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So uh you come in and well, I take that back because at that point in time you don't even have a shirt with your name on it. But when you go to laundry, you come back next day or whatever. When they see you, Edge Deep, what's good, my brother? Yes, this is a great idea. I think so, and I'm glad you think so too. If you got a comment, go ahead, hit me with a comment. If you know what I'm saying, you got a question. If you want to donate with the super chat, that's even great too. You know what I'm saying? But so yeah, you come in and they see you, they see them last three, and they know. I can think off the top of my head some of the places and some of the numbers. Like for instance, you got 041, that's Minnesota. 039, that's one of the parts of Detroit. Well, that's one of the parts of Michigan. I think that's the Detroit area. Who else? 424, Chicago. Well, not just Chicago, but Illinois. But I'm thinking of cities, but it's actually the states. So also you can see people in there with a 024 number. Now, 024 number used to be the numbers from Illinois, Chicago cats. But now it went to 424. I guess they ran out of numbers that show you how many people they lock up. So uh in the federal system, once you go fed, you keep that number for life. It's a number, like I said, you won't forget it because, like in the military, with your last four, your social, which you use for everything, in prison, you're going to use this ID number. And glad I'm talking about this ID because remember, if you watch my videos, first of all, make sure you like this video, like the live, make a comment, feel free to make a comment, ask questions, anything you like me to talk about, anything you like to see that I'm not thinking that you want to see and I'm not putting out there. Excuse me. So with this ID, as you see on the back, it's just like a regular debit card. So you don't have money in prison, but you do have vending machines, which is another idea for a side hustle, vending machines, because they have vending machines in prisons. Now, whether you can get the contract, whether they're easy to get, I don't know. Don't get me started on that. But if you seek, you shall find, because that's what I have to iterate to a lot of people when they getting out, to let them know that, okay, you've been to prison. Don't get down on yourself, because people that have been to prison, and I hate to keep distinguishing from federal prison to state prison, but federal prisoners are in there because of money, some form of money, being greedy, basically. You know, they were mortgage broker, they got caught with mortgage fraud. They were insurance agent, they got caught with insurance fraud. They were a drug dealer. They were, ran a theft ring. You know what I mean? It's all about that money. And one thing about you, you're a go-getter. You're a go-getter. You just got to figure out a different product. All products don't have to be illegal. It's a lot of legal stuff that you can do for money. And with your drive and with your attitude and with your charisma, I mean, sadly, a lot of times we'll be in federal prison so long that they kind of like take that up at you, but it's never all the way gone. It's just a lot of risks that you were willing to take when you were younger, you're not so necessarily willing to take when you're older. Like, for instance, me coming from Chicago, in Chicago, gang banging is a sport. Everybody did it. Well, not everybody, but majority people. Like, for instance, even if you wasn't in a gang, if you was from a certain neighborhood and a certain gang was in that neighborhood, I don't care where you went. A lot of times, this one, I'm a 70s baby. So when you was going places, people stop you when you know what I'm saying, you are that age of like gang banging age, or whatever. But them guys gonna approach you. They're gonna be like, where you from? And they're gonna ask you what gang you in. Well, they might. But the ultimate question was where you from, because that's gonna determine what you are, whether you're that or not. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, if you from a project and they know that project where you say you from is this game, because the project's gonna be, hey, one gang or another. It's not gonna be like what the 83, like, yeah. I'm from 83rd, East Side, 83rd, East Side of Chicago, over there by CVS High School, closer to Bourne. You know what I'm saying? You know, East Side, they say it's from State to the Lake, but I'm the far East Side. I'm over down there by Commercial, you know, where the Mexicans at. But yeah, so I lost my train of thought. Sorry, y'all. But back to the ID cards. So you don't have money. Kofax. Yep. The facts. But yeah, so they don't have money, literally like paper. So you got vending machines. So what they do is you take, when you go to commissary, you can take money off your books and put it on your card. So when you go to the machine, you put your card in, and this is how you use. So this is like not just your ID, but it's your debit card, which I tell people all the time, man. Prison, and hey, don't get mad at me, y'all. Don't get mad at me. But prison prepares you for the world if you let it. How? Now, again, I speak highly on federal prison because I was in federal prison. I can't really speak so much on state. Maybe other people can enlighten me and come in the comments. Okay. I see you. I know who you is. Bringing the knowledge to the people. Yes, trying to. And I need y'all help. If y'all know, man, help me. And I thank y'all for coming too. So what I was gonna say, back in the federal prison, you got a budget, right? Every month you got a monthly budget. When I was in, I don't know if it changed, but you was allowed $275 spending limit in commissary. Now, just like everything else, people are gonna find a way to go above and beyond the norm. Like, for instance, you can have 4 outfits, 4 work shirts, 4 work pants. You can have 1 outfit that you have for visiting. You can have 1 jogging suit, 1 pair of work boots, 1 pair of shoe boots for visiting, and 1 pair of gym shoes, right? So now I know most, and I'm not being on no racial stuff, but most black people, we got more than what we supposed to have. You know, you got your walk around on Fridays, you know, because most jobs are Monday through Friday, just like in the real world. You got your walk around on Friday outfit. You got your outfit did you take pictures in, then you got your visiting outfit or outfits, then you got your work outfits. You know, it's just like, if we just buckle down and look at what really they was putting down, they teach you how to budget. They give you a $275 limit. But again, you find ways around that. You find somebody who not getting money, you have money sent to them. So you tell them, look, I'm gonna send you 275. I'm gonna give you 50, but the other 225, I'm gonna give you a list. I want you to go to the store and buy it. So they go buy it and they come bring you the stuff and they getting $50 out of it. Boom, they ain't getting no money. So that's just one of the ways, one of the ways to go around it. Even on the phone, people find ways. Oh, the phone, when I was there, you got 300 minutes a month. 300 minutes a month on the phone. So now when I first got there, it was crazy because you make a call and the call is like going direct. So like when you call, because you had that, and that was another thing, it wasn't collect calls in the federal system. It was just straight through. So you call and your call, the people would just, the phone will ring, they'll pick up, hey, what's up? Like, hey, it's me. Like, man, I thought you was in jail. I am. Well, what a record. They think the recording and all that type of stuff wasn't no recording. It was just straight, you know what I'm saying? Straight through. But people will complain, oh, they making it bad for people who don't got money. Ain't no collect calls. So what did they do? They got together, they started filing papers, got it pushed up to the top where people start paying attention. And they say, you know what? We're going to give the people in feds, we're going to give them collect calls. But now that we give them collect calls, we're going to put the recording So now when that happened, the collect calls came, but you had that record. This is a call from federal prisons. If you press 5, everybody know in the Fed, press 5. You know what I'm saying? Or press 0 and you have to worry you can block that person. That person can't call, then you got to go through all this paperwork because sometimes people halfway listen and they hear or press 0 and they press 0 and next thing you know, blocked your call. And you're like, dang, you blocked my call. Oh, I didn't know what I was doing. Oh, come on, grandma. You know, all type of stuff. You got to go through all the paperwork. They got to sign papers. You got to write papers. They got to send it, all that stuff. But anyway, so they put that on the phones. Then it was a weight limit. Cause like I used to get on the phone, call somebody, talk about 15 minutes because the phone calls 15 minutes. Then when the 15 minutes over, boom, I can get right, call them again and just ride the phone. You know what I mean? Then they said, you know what, we're gonna stop that. So now after that, you made a call, then you had to wait 15 minutes. Some places 30 minutes. I heard some places you had to wait an hour. So you make a phone call, and then after that call in, timer goes on. You have to wait a whole another hour before you can make another call. So whenever they give you something, they're gonna take something. Always. You never get something without getting some other stuff taken away. So that was one of the big things that happened with that phone situation, which you also got to put money on the phone, you know what I'm saying, off your books. So like when you go to commissary, you put so much money on your card, you put so much money on the phone, and then you got your groceries and stuff that you buy. But yeah, that's just a little bit about prison. And the budgeting that they try to put you down with, the 300 minutes on the phone, you get out, you're going to talk way more than 300 minutes a month. $275 that you've been doing for years or however long you was in prison, that's going to go out the window. The 4 outfits, a couple pairs of shoes. Come on, man. I've seen people who have whole like rooms just full of shoes. You only got one pair of feet, 2 feet, one left, one right. You know what I'm saying? Needs and wants, needs and wants. So where I want to take this channel now is I want to be more focused on y'all. You know what I mean? I started out with with the clothing and stuff like that. I still got shirts and stuff like that, but that ain't my focus. And as time goes on, I'm gonna make different shirts with different slogans and stuff like that that I think is pertinent to the successful convict community. You know what I mean? So a lot of people I was experiencing, a lot of people didn't like. They liked the successful convict idea, but they didn't like touting themselves as a convict. You know what I mean? Regardless of how successful they were, some people still, shamed of it and stuff like that. But they don't realize that, you know, in society always makes things what they want it to be, but that's not always the real deal. Like for instance, I know somebody who caught a Fed case and was just broke down about it. And I was trying to explain to them, like, you caught a Fed case. Now, I know this again from being in federal prison. When you get out of federal prison, you get offered jobs because federal crimes or criminals that commit federal crimes have to gain a certain amount of knowledge to go above that. Like, so for instance, if you're in federal prison for mortgage fraud, you have to really understand mortgages. You have to know the ins and outs, the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s of mortgages for you to take it to another level and start abusing it or committing fraud with it. Like, I'm gonna tell you this from experience: drugs, right? The whole crack era, which is really not crack, is rock cocaine. But we'll say that for another topic. With the whole crack thing, I remember back in the days, people started to learn how to do tricks. They can take 1 ounce and turn it into 2 ounces, which you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that means more money. Stretching it, with it still being good, with people still, using the drug and still getting the effects of the drug. So, in order for you to do that, you have to know how to turn powder cocaine into rock cocaine, the basics of it. You have to understand the basics, know the dynamics of it before you can take it to the next level to say, okay, well, I'm going to take this 1 ounce of powder cocaine and turn it into 1 ounce of rock cocaine, but you have to really know how to do that to say, I'm gonna take this 1 ounce of powder and turn it into 2 ounces of rock cocaine. I'm gonna take this mortgage and instead of appraising this house at $50,000, I'm gonna appraise it at $150,000. And I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? So you dealing with the elites up in there. It's almost like a mastermind, so to speak. Hold on a second. My dog is a barker, so to keep him from barking, I have to zapper. I have to zapper to get her to shut up because the neighbors are starting to complain. People are starting to call and say that my dogs are out. It's cold outside, but I have outside dogs. You know what I'm saying? They not cold. They not cold like you think. If you watch my short, I'll show you outside and I'll show you their doghouse and stuff like that. But make sure you watch all my stuff. Binge watch it. This weekend, you sitting back. If you don't work or on your off day, sit back and go through my videos and watch them. And I want y'all to take this transformation with me. Even though it's not an extreme transformation, I just want to focus more on helping people, helping them really getting out of the rut of going back and forth to prison. Because what I found, and I think you all can agree, the problem we have is money, getting money, which we don't have problems getting money, but it's what to do with the money. See, a lot of us don't know that money is only so important now. Now it's bigger. It's about credit. And we don't even know that we could take some of our money and build our credit up because the credit is going to be more important than the money. Because you can go and buy a house with credit, but trying to buy a house with money, we already know you got to do all kind of tricks and twists and stuff like that. Like I said, people in jail for mortgage fraud. But if you would have went in there with your credit, then you could have bypassed all that because you're trying to hide the money. When you try to hide money, let me tell you what happens. You got people that always help you. They'll help you buy stuff with cash and go under the certain laws because you know there's laws with you can spend only so much cash. Not only that, it's taxed. It's taxed crazy. But when you do that, you got to pay more. So let's just say you spend 100,000 on something, whether it's a car, a house, whatever. You're going to spend about 150. You're going to spend 50,000 on just trying to get it with the cash to go up under the radar. Whereas if you had the credit, you can get that for 100,000 and you can get it now and you can make payments on it. And in the process of making payments on it, you're building the credit even better. Now, the next time, instead of getting 100,000, you probably can get 2, 3, 4, $1 million. Who knows? But it's all about that credit, baby. And I'm finna start getting on top of my credit. And like I told y'all before in my previous videos, as I dive in on this credit building for myself, I'm also gonna bring y'all what I've done and how it's working for me and how you can do it too. So, I mean, so far, you know, I'm liking this 4 o'clock count because another thing about this, right? And this is why I used to tell people it's always good to write people that's in prison. Because like when you get out, when you first get out, you know everybody that's still in prison. You see what I'm saying? Before they even get out. So that's a good time to write them. And I used to write because I'm a writer anyway. I used to write. And people used to be like, man, why you do all that writing? Because when I write them, first thing goes to my mind is how they gonna feel when they get their name called and mail call. That's just a whole nother video right there, mail call situation. Then it makes me think when I was in there waiting on a letter, waiting on somebody to write me, and all the thoughts I had in my head. Now it's taking me back to prison, mind state. And the mind state is good to go back to prison in your mind because it makes you think about when you was inside wanting to get out. Because see, now we out. So now we out. What we gonna do? What have we done? Have we done anything that we said we was gonna do? Have we partaken in anything that we so badly wanted to do? Like when you watch all these prison shows that kill me, dudes be like, man, I just want to take my daughter to school. man, I just want to do this and do that. Then they get out here and you got all these girls with the injections and the little wing flap eyelids and stuff, and they, you know, you don't think about the kids, you don't think about the family, you know what I'm saying? You ain't going to visit moms or none of that. You know what I'm saying? So writing is good because it puts you back. So I just want my channel to put you back in that mind state you were in when you were in before you got out, when you had all those thoughts and ideas and those plans, and you were seeing, hey, this just ain't worth it. That just ain't worth it. Because a lot of times we get back out here and we jump right back into the stuff we know ain't worth it. And then next thing you know, we back in doing the same thing again. And every time you get out, it gets harder and harder to reinvent yourself back out here because people lose faith in you. It's easy to get in trouble the second time, third time, fourth time, and we just need a place where we can be held accountable. And I think 4 o'clock is a good time to do that. What's the deal? What's the deal? Keep on trucking outlaw life. I think this is a good time because that 4 o'clock, inmates all over the United States are standing up with their ID by their door, waiting to say their name. And sometimes they looking out the window. I've been all right, man. I can't complain. Still free, still successful convict. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I'm actually got to end this in a minute because I got to get ready to go to work. I got to be at work at 5:45. Working at UPS. I'm trucking. Still feed the thank God. Yes, yes, yes. Still free. Thank God. Still free. But more so, and I'm not anti-religious, thank yourself. Because God gives you the ideas, He gives you the freedom of choice, He gives you a lot for you to do what you do, but you got to thank yourself, because if you don't thank yourself, then you'll always be looking out instead of looking within, because it starts within. God is within. It's within your mind, it's within your body, it's within your soul. This is just my beliefs. So thanking God first and foremost, but that's almost like a given. It's like, I ain't got to say thank God because I know everything goes through God. So that's off top, but I got to thank myself because it starts with me. You know what I'm saying? When people come to you and they be like, man, let's go do this, man. I got this lick. I got this lick. That's what's up. Over the road. I'm local. I really can't do it over the road. I really don't know how much longer I can do this local. But yeah, thank yourself. So I want to go into this thought before I leave, right? Okay, now I'm trucking, right? And everybody want to tell me about how good the money is. Now I work for UPS. UPS is one of the highest paying trucking jobs out there. They got the stronghold on the industry as far as delivering and stuff like that. Matter of fact, a couple of weeks we sent some to from Minnesota to Wisconsin, and my mother-in-law got it the next day. That was crazy. And we sent it like that night. It wasn't even, we sent that at about, we took it to the UPS store at about 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. And she got it the next day. So, they got good service. But this is my dilemma. And tell me if y'all feel me on this, and tell me, saying what I can do or whatever. Hey, that beautiful girl's here. Yeah, we're not gonna do y'all. Let's see. This is the wrong channel for that. We on something else right now. We building. And we not building on that. It's good that you got beautiful girls there, but keep them there. We don't want them right here. We building. Like my man said on remember on Paid in Full, when he was in the car, he was like, man, me and my man, we building right now. We build. When remember the undercover, came. Thanks. The undercover came and was trying to get in with him, and he, boom. Yeah, hey, you independent. Man, DM me, man. I'm about to give you my number, and we're gonna have to chat. I know Kid Ken doing real good on the trucks too, I heard. I've been hollering at Chris, you know what I mean? Good that he back out. But yeah, and you got to let me know what's up with your clothing line too. Whatever happened with that. But we're gonna talk. DM me, man. I'm gonna send you my number. We're gonna chop it up. But yeah, so my dilemma is, so I work for 5:45 p.m. and with UPS jobs, I've noticed it's just until because it's no definite, like it's not a 9 to 5 job. So like, no, I'm in Minnesota. I'm in Minnesota. So with the jobs, with my job, I've been getting off about 6 o'clock a.m. So to me, that's 12 hours every day. You know what I'm saying? People always say, "Oh, you're making good money. You're making good money." It ain't about the money because how much is your time really worth? You know what I mean? We got to focus on that because that's what gets us into trouble a lot of times because we don't utilize our time. We don't realize how precious our time is once we get out. Because once we in there, we know how much our time is worth. Oh man, you know this, that, this. And I know when I was in there, I used to always say, man, I'd rather be homeless. I'll live up under a bridge for 5 years. I promise I won't go home. I'll just live homeless for 5 years better than being in here. It don't work like that. So when you get out, man, and I try to encourage a lot of brothers and sisters when they first get out, man, start a YouTube channel. Man, start some type of job because once you get a job working for somebody else, you become enslaved. Like an old guy told me, it's called the golden handcuffs. And I was like, what's the golden handcuffs? He said, oh, that's when you locked in. You got the handcuffs, but they made out of gold. He's like, because you can't leave because of the money. So, you know, I don't plan on being there to get my golden handcuffs. You know what I'm saying? Already it's a lot of things that I'm not really liking according to my situation. The money is great. You know, if I was a younger guy, you know, working those hours and stacking, yeah, that'd be cool. But, you know, I got family and successful convicts family. We all know the value of time. You know what I'm saying? We ain't guaranteed tomorrow, especially at this age, you know, when you up in your upper 40s, 50s, 60s, or whatever, even in your 30s and stuff like that. When you've been away for like 5, 10 plus years, because I did 9 years, 11 months, you realize the value of time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm realizing like I can't put all my time and energy that I got left into UPS just to get a gift card when I pass away for my family. That's not gonna do it. So, you know, when you know better, you'll do better. And that's what I want to do. I want to know better, and I also want to give that knowledge to other people. I think that's my gift because I've always been a great communicator. You know what I mean? Even in the gangbanging days, you know, I've always been the one that can communicate with people that was so-called the enemy and stuff like that. You know, I never really had problems with people like that, like as far as I know anyway, with people, you know, being a likable type of person. I've always been cool with everybody. I can always see things for a different, you know what I mean? Even when I was in prison, you know, I hung with a lot of like I used to talk to a lot of, well, I can't say a lot, but I used to talk to some like skinheads, you know, the racist dudes or all that type of stuff. It's like a lot of it just be misunderstanding. They don't know me, I don't know them. But I was the type I wanted to know what you thought. You know, a lot of people, even now, I honor everybody, but I honor people who, like, you know, people talk about the Trump supporters and how racist they are and stuff like that. I honor those people because I want to know how you really feel. I don't want you to smile in my face and stick a knife in my back. I'd rather you show me the knife and say, if you turn around, I'm gonna stab you. I say, okay, thanks. Now I know not to turn my back. You see what I'm saying? I don't want to turn my back so you can stab me. You just told me what you're gonna do. So I'm not gonna turn around. But when you get those people that's be like, oh, hey, how's it going? Yeah, you know, and then when you leave, man, I don't like that. I don't like that. So that's why I always honor people for who they were. You know what I mean? Like I said, skinheads, uh, you know, and then a lot of stuff, like I said, a lot of times, you know, you can't judge a book by its cover. This one guy, he was in one joint with me, and then I went down to the camp, and then he came to the camp. So a lot of times when you've been in prison with another person, unless it was an altercation or something like that, but a lot of times you see somebody from a prison that you was in already, y'all just had that different, we already got the bond to everybody in prison, but you have a closer bond because y'all both been to that prison. Now y'all both in this prison. It just brings y'all closer, even if it's just nothing but just speaking terms, and putting each other up on information. Like y'all might not even hang together. Like you might be white, he might be black or Mexican or whatever. When you see each other, you be like, hey, bro, come here, check this out. Hey, man, they coming out with a law. Woo, woo, woo. Oh yeah, man, check it out. Go to such. All right, man, thanks. Good looking. Oh yeah, for sure. And then boom. But all that comes because y'all was in a different joint. So long story short, this guy and Bert, I wonder where he at. He wound up escaping. Then he got caught. Long story, but so when he came, and I always knew he was a white guy, big, looked like a motorcycle type of guy, big beard. You know what I'm saying? All the tattoos all over and stuff like that. And I never really took the time to look at his tattoos, because just like misconceptions of everybody else, I had them too. I see a white dude with a bunch of tattoos, automatically think, oh, he one of those Aryan Brotherhood dudes. So he had all these tattoos. So he came down to the camp. Boom. He's like, oh, what's up, man? I'm trying to find a job. So I got him a job in the kitchen working with me. I was a cook. Got him a job as a cook. So now we starting to chop it up. We starting to talk. So one day we sitting at the table waiting, the meal was done. We just waiting on count or whatever. And he got to tell me about his tattoos. Come to find out, he wasn't racist. He was a devil worshiper. Those was all devil worshiping tattoos. And on that note, because I was real big in the Morris Science Temple. Matter of fact, it was the Grand Sheik. But talking to him, we had a lot of common beliefs. Only difference was he believed that the devil was God. Not that he didn't believe in God. He just believed that the devil was God. That was his God. So a lot of the same things that we found out we just like, it's almost like with the gangs, right? And this is crazy too, because you got gangs and they basically divided up for the most part, not necessarily set in stone, but for the most part, it's either red or blue. It's a whole bunch of different other gang colors and stuff like that. But for the most part, just like for the most part, it's white or black. You know what I mean? But it's almost like the blue people, not the blue people like the Vegas blue people, but people that ride under the blue or they in the gang that's affiliated with the blue or whatever, they believe this. People that's in the gangs that's affiliated, and don't judge me because of my red sweatshirt. I got blue sweatshirts too. People in the red, they believe that this and that usually are the same thing. Just like I'm gonna tell you one of the biggest things that I noticed, and I used to tell people this, and it's hard for you to understand something even when it's dumb and you believe it all your life, and then when somebody makes sense out of it, most of the time people get mad when you make sense out of it. But I used to tell people this all the time, right? Because I grew up Catholic, went to a Catholic school, got older, started venturing off into Islam. Then when I went to prison, I just started studying all religions, all different belief systems, right? So Muslims' belief is that, hold on, let me go. Christians, let me go to Christians. Christians believe in Jesus, right? Jesus believed that he had to do everything that God wanted him to do. Muslims believe that you have to do everything that God wants you to do. So if you go back, Jesus was a Muslim because he believed what the Muslims believe. So Christians and Muslims are really the same thing. I know it's way deeper, it's way deeper than that, but that's the basis of it. Everything that the Christians believe about Jesus, Jesus believed the same thing that the Muslims believe. It's all the same beliefs, but it's just two different names for the different groups that believe. And you got different little factions, this is different, that is different. But the basis of it is all the same belief. Where's the argument? Where's the argument? So, I don't want to go on a rant. I got to get ready for work. You know, I'm enslaved. But yeah, I can do a video on being a cook inside. I will. I'm gonna do that this weekend. And it's a lot of stories with that too. Real funny, some funny stuff. But let me tell you this real quick. So it was this guy. He came from another joint, higher level. He had been down a while. I was the grade one cook, which is the top, and they made him the number two. So he was mad because he felt he could cook better than me. Oh man, he don't know how to cook. He don't know how to cook better than me. I used to cook for 2,000, 2,500 inmates down at such and such, such and such. Cool. And that's what I had to explain to him. The reason I'm the number one cook and you the number two, it's not because you can cook better, but you can't even communicate with people. I can communicate with people. You speak Spanish is your main language. English, you know, he used to talk like because he used to try to figure out the English word for what he wanted to say. That limits you from being higher than me. Regardless of how good you can cook, you can't communicate. I used to bond with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because the grade one cook basically delegates the duties for everybody. So I would tell people, what do you want to do? And I would have all the cooks. It was like eight cooks, like 7 cooks under me. So I would let them do what they wanted to do. That way it got done, and it got done to their best ability. Because if you tell somebody what to do and you're an inmate just like them, they're not gonna want to do it. I dealt with that. So I had to think hard, you know what I'm saying, above that, say, okay. So as a leader, you have to be a great follower. So what I would do is I would have to report to the guards, but as far as my crew, hey, we all inmates, man. What you want to do? Okay, do that. What you want to do? This the meal we got to do. What you want to do? Okay, you do that. What you want to do? Okay, you do that. What you want to do? Okay, you do that. Anybody want to do this? Man, I don't want to do that. That's what I would do. The job got done. Everybody was happy and did what they wanted to do. And guess what? I used to tell people this too. Hey, if you don't want to do nothing, let me know. Because one thing about it, this is prison. We all have our days. Things happen at home, or just the whole mental of being in prison. You don't want to do nothing? Just let me know so I can do it. So it don't. So long as the meal get put out, the guards don't care. They don't care who did what. Long as the meal get done, everything get done like it's supposed to do, they don't care. So that's what I would do. He couldn't do that because he only spoke really Spanish, and he only hung with the one Mexican guy that was a cook. He didn't really kick it with the other guys. I mean, he spoke to him and stuff like that. But me, I kicked it with everybody. I spoke to him because I want to know, hey, where you from? What you into? Hey, how you get in? What you in locked up for? Hey, what was you know? I was like one of those inquisitive. I'm asking questions. I'm digging into your life. I'm trying. I just want to know. You know what I mean? I guess call it nosy or whatever, but I just want to know. I want to see what you have to offer. You might have some knowledge that I want to know. You might, be a computer genius or whatever. I met the guy actually in prison. The squeeze bottles. You pour the bottle up and you squeeze it. I met the guy who made that. He was in prison. Hey, what's up? So yeah, so I got to end this strand. As you see, my son home. He ready to watch his show on TV. And I don't know if y'all know about YouTube, but when you got kids involved, they start to get funny with the videos, even though this is like not no hardcore topic. But just because him being in there on the live, it just takes this video to a whole nother area or whatever. But it's all good because I'm here for the people. I'm here for y'all. We're going to help each other. We're going to hold each other accountable. 4 o'clock count should be clear. In some places it's not. Somebody might be hiding in the shower or might have hit the fence or didn't make it back, because that's another story too. People leave, but they come back. You know what I'm saying? And when I say leave, I mean like at the camps. They'll leave the camp, go to a hotel, and then they'll come back. But that's a whole another story. But I don't know too much about that. I wasn't into that. I just know it happens, just like everybody knows it happened. I'm not trying to expose no gang and get camps cut off from what they've been doing for years and years because of my video. People be like, man, you exposed the game just for some likes. No, I'm not doing that. But appreciate all y'all who slid through on 4 o'clock count. Like I said, Mondays and Fridays starting off, at the end of the week, we could talk about what happened, and starting the week out because people need that motivation to keep it pushing. So it's been blessed. Hope y'all have a great weekend. And 4 o'clock count. Clear that. 4 o'clock count is clear. That's what you're gonna hear over the intercom. You know what I'm saying? Everybody sitting around once the guards count your unit and stuff like that. Everybody just sitting that way. 4 o'clock count has cleared.